Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be having a look at my purchases and viewer donations that were received in January and early February 2021. So the absolute highlight this time is a run of Hodder Saint paperbacks by Leslie Charteris that were donated to me by viewer Ian. So I'll go into those in a bit more detail obviously in the forthcoming video, so you can have a look through and see what was there. Very, very delighted to receive those, so thank you very much. The other part of what's going to be in today's video is a whole load of James Bond Fleming paperbacks. So I've been slowly but surely trying to upgrade my Fleming collection, and some of them I've had for years and the copies aren't quite as sharp as I would like. So look out for that as well. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Right, so you'll find this time round that I've been picking up a lot of Pan James Bond editions. So one like this, for example, I might have this copy, or rather a copy of Dr. No with this jacket, maybe not this exact printing, but I am trying to get together a run of all the sort of different James Bond jackets if I can, particularly in Pan books, because they're the ones that I sort of read when I was growing up. And as you can see, the printing history of these is enormous. So I certainly wouldn't want to try and get every printing, but I am at least trying to get every jacket. And I'm also trying to upgrade copies that I've already got at the moment. So that one's actually absolutely fine, that one. So there's nothing wrong with that. Rush with Love here. So I'm just going to check through these in the usual way, see if there's any pencil marks inside. This one's actually got a loose page in this one. Some of them have been picked up in job lots, so it may be copies that I've already got, and I've already got the covers, but they came along anyway, so there will just be sort of doubles in my swap box. I am also trying to get an updated set of the Bond books for reading copies as well, so it's a really nice one. I like that jacket, it's a good one, that. They're not all Bond, but there is a lot of Bond this time round. This is an old Muthen sixpenny. I think these came out about 1935. I've got about 6 or 7 of them. They don't turn up that often. This one's got a pencil mark inside of 39. Yeah, first published in Muthen sixpennies in 1939. Yeah, they don't turn up that often, but when they do, they're pretty good. And look at that, I've just noticed that one there, Jonathan Latimer. The Dead Don't Care. We've got a Latimer book later on, and I have actually just finished one. He was like a really good hard-boiled crime writer before hard-boiled crime writing was a thing, really. This is the movie adaptation of Thunderball. It also, sadly, this is laminated, but it is actually miles better. It's nice to see the cover without any sort of, it's got a bit of yellow in, but at least it's not creased up. I think this is quite tricky to find in a nice edition where the covers aren't creased up to anything, you know. But nice all the same, that one. Now this is interesting. So this is actually a 2-part one. So this was just, you know, a pretty average J.P. Priestley, published as a Pan X560, and it was a Pan original, so they made a big deal about this. So first published in 1966 as a Pan original, and the reason it's a big deal is because they also published it in hardback. There's a period Pan hardback from, you know, they use the same jacket, and look, it's classed as a library edition. So Pan didn't do this very often, but there it is all the same, and would be the same date, 1966. So the book is the same, it's just, there we are, inside it says library edition, also available in a paperback 3 and 6. So quite interesting, eh? They didn't do that very often, and it is, yeah, just a little variant, you know. So that's okay. They're pretty nice, W. Francis Phipps. They're pretty nice, these. On the whole, the books I've been picking up this month are pretty nice. This one will require a little bit more work, so we'll have a look at this one towards the end. But this is a first edition of the Kraken Wakes, which was the book that John Wyndham published after Day of the Triffids. It's pretty rare, that. So we'll put that one to one side whilst we carry on through the paperbacks. So for your eyes only here. These have been really good so far, condition-wise. They've not needed a blooming thing. Not even a single pencil mark to rub out. This one's got a couple of turned over corners there, which isn't too bad. So as I said, yeah, I'm trying to update my James Bond collection. It's going to take a bit of time. This is a nice new English library, and the Fear Merchants. I've got this because it's got Ed McBain's story in, and I'm collecting all the British Ed McBain releases. This is the first Nell edition from 1975. Good stuff. New English Library, they're brilliant, aren't they? I do also collect P.G. Wodehouse, and this is one of the 4 square ones. These are pretty hard to come across. I actually got this from another book dealer, Morris at Zardoz Books. Got me that one. This is one of the ones I got from Andy at Cold Tonnage Books. Now, they're fairly local to me. I said I'd give him a shout out because I got some Star Trek books off him as well recently, a few that I was missing. This is a great one which I saw in the Cover Me book and thought, oh God, I haven't got that one. Also by W. Francis Phillips. He did so many, didn't he, for Pan in this sort of period. And books on Jack the Ripper are generally quite collectible, so lovely to have that one. Yet another Bond here, for your eyes only. And then exactly the same book again, but a different jacket. This is the picture one. As I said, some of these just turned up in job lots. I've already got them. They're just almost like surplus to requirements. And here's another Jonathan Latimer I was talking about. This is a US one. This is an original pocketbook from the States. Lady in the Morgue. This is quite nice. Don't have many of these in my collection, just a handful of American pocketbooks. 1943. Pretty good, eh? This is a nice copy of From Russia with Love. Always like that jacket. I've been rewatching the James Bond films in order, and I am onto the Roger Moores. But so far, I'm ranking them in order, and my favourite is On Her Majesty's. It always has been, but my favourite Connery is now From Russia with Love. It used to be Goldfinger, but now it's From Russia, followed by You Only Live Twice. The movie adaptation of Tomorrow Never Dies, I have already got this once again. It just came as part of a job lot, so I've ended up with extra copies of some of these that I've already got. I don't believe I owned this version of Live and Let Die. Not that I can remember anyway, but there he is. And then I definitely didn't have this one, which was the sort of the semi tie-in, movie tie-in to Octopussy. Sort of came out around the time of the movie. Triad. Yeah, I definitely didn't have that one. So I think what we'd do, there's nothing to rub out in any of those at all. And none of them need spines gluing, so I've been pretty lucky there, really. So I am going to give the tops a dust off with my trusty toothbrush, though. So let's do the bottom edge first. These probably aren't going to be too bad on the bottom. I've not gone mad this month. I've not had a chance to really research and buy loads, but I have had a rather nice donation, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. So a chap has been very, very generous to me. And we'll have a look at those in a minute. So that's them okay. That one's got a tiny folded over corner, but nothing too bad. This one, because it's smaller, I'm just going to do him on his own. I doubt there's much dust on that, because it's come from another dealer. Let's split this pile into two. I'll do these. Now, some people have said to me, and this is sort of, when I do these sort of cleaning videos, they are almost like vlogs, aren't they? So some people have said to me, well, Jules, you've got your bag of tricks. You've got your toothbrush, you've got your soft rubber, you've got your Mr. Sheen if you need it, which I will use a bit later on. Some of this stuff, like the Mr. Sheen, for example, is very much a British thing, and it's just not easily available overseas. And they said, why don't you put together a kit? Oh, my hose that dusty. Why don't you put together a little kit of all the stuff that you sort of use when you clean your books up, and then you could let us have it, and we could sort of make a few quid on it, but it would help support the channel, and it would give us some cleaning tools so we could do our own sort of cleaning videos or cleaning our books. So I said, yeah, maybe. So look for that to come. I think I might give it a try if there's enough interest. If you'd like me to pull together all the tools of the trade, soft toothbrush, Pritt stick, Mr. Sheen, soft rubber, all brand new, and a soft cloth, the sort that I use. So you've got all the tools of the trade, basically, that I use to clean books. And if you think that would be something worthwhile, do let me know in the comments, and I'll maybe put some sets together, and we'll see if we can do it as a little sideline. Quite a lot of dust on that early Muthen sixpenny. I don't think the hardback was too bad, to be honest. I can't see much dust on that. Nah, that's okay, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at this copy of the Crack and Wakes then. So there he is. I don't think there's a great deal I can do about it. It's as good as it's going to get. This book is hundreds of pounds in first edition, with its original wrapper. This one is a bit worse for wear, as you can see, but I haven't got a copy in hardback first, so I'm just happy to have it. So it's going to be quite a bit of general wear and tear, and I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be able to clean it up inside. The thing is, it is all there. It's a complete copy. There we are, 1953. Looks like a little one in the top right corner there. So we get that off. Apart from that, I mean, it's got internal foxing and stuff, but it's all there. I don't think it's an ex-library. I can't see any pages out. It's just, it's been worn, it's been read a few times. If you've never read The Crack and Wakes, it's really good. It's really good. It's not as good as Triffids, but it's still excellent. Now you can see it's got a spine roll on it. Now that's going to take quite a bit of this one being sort of pinched in the correct place, but let's see if I can do anything with the top edge here. Lighten that up a little bit. There's a little bit coming off. Not a lot, but a bit. Now I can obviously pick up a facsimile dust wrapper for this one from the Facsimile Dust Wrapper Company in the States, and I'm definitely going to do that next time I've got a few that I need, because it makes sense to do order about 5 at a time. So this one's on my list of ones to get a new wrapper for. And really, all it needs is sort of to be bent back in shape so that it's a bit squarer. And then that will sit very nicely next to my, once it's in a new wrapper, very nicely next to my copy of Day of the Triffids. Great book. As I said, it's a few £100 in a wrapper, so I'm very pleased. I got that for, I think it was £24, which I thought was a veritable bargain for that one without a dust wrapper. Now, this next run of books, I have to say, wow, I've been gifted these by a fellow Saint fan, Ian Dickerson. Now, Ian he saw my recent video on Leslie Charteris and the Saint in Pan books, and he said it would be lovely if I could include the Hodder paperback editions, which were being published simultaneously alongside the Pan editions. I said, well, I'd love to, mate, but I haven't actually got them. So he said, I've got a box load you can have. So he sent me those. Now, I don't believe it's everything, but it's an awful lot of the run. So I don't think they're going to need much cleaning, but we'll go through and give them the usual treatment. This one's got a little bit cut out in the back, but we'll give them the usual treatment that I give all my books before before they sort of get added to the collection. And I'm going to be filming a follow-up video, thanks to Ian, with these beautiful Hodder. I mean, look how good they're. Really nice nick, aren't they? So love that jacket there. So I'm not going to dwell too much on it because I don't want to spoil the specialist Hodder Saint video coming up. But these are great, and I really am bowled over by that. So thank you very much for that, Ian. Ian's part of the Leslie Charteris and Saint Facebook group, which is very, very active and has got some amazing stuff on it. He also sent me links. These are absolutely perfect. He also sent me links to some French Leslie Charteris hardbacks, which are just outstanding. The covers on them are amazing. These are lovely condition. I think these are going to make excellent videoing. The only thing I don't know, I'm going to need to pick Ian's brains, is about some of the cover artists on these, because on the Pan ones we were pretty much able to determine who they all were, and also if there's any missing. So hopefully with Ian's expertise he'll be able to give me a hand on those. So these are sort of going from late 60s and they're working their way back to the early 50s. So they're sort of in reverse order, the way I'm showing you them. Certainly in Saint Heaven at the moment. All the Saint books I've been getting through. I have to say that although the style is different to the Pan ones, they definitely feel really nice additions to read. These Hodder ones, they really are. There's some great, great jackets here. Really, really nice. I think the Saints probably due a revival, you know. And that's not all. That was about half of them. I'll keep working my way through. So the Saint bids diamonds. Brighter Buccaneer, yeah. Yes, I'm going to need to do a bit of research to see which, if any, Hodder editions are actually missing. But boy, oh boy, I'm very, very lucky to get these, so thank you very much once again, Ian, for these, featuring the Saint. They're absolutely perfect. I tell you what, this has been one of the easiest cleaning videos I've had in months. The books have been in such great condition, generally speaking. I've not needed to do anything. That's interesting. Now that one's got a little sticker inside, come from Toronto in Canada. These are the very early Hodder yellow jackets. This is in fact number 6 of those. I don't know if this is a first edition. It's got a little 75p there, so we've actually got something to try and rub out. Yeah, I think that's probably the first one from like 1950. Yeah, first printing, I mean. And you may have noticed my rubber has been upgraded. I've got a brand new one. After my last cleaning video, I realised I was virtually down to like a nub. There was nothing left. But it's not bad. It's lasted over a year. And well, you've seen how many books I've cleaned in the last year, so that wasn't too bad. This one's got a bit. So these early ones have actually got a couple of prices in. So let's get this one out as well. This one's got a 125. Well, I don't think that was too bad a price for an original Hodder yellow jacket. I mean, I don't know really if they're mega collected today. I mean, generally speaking, I don't tend to collect the Hodder books just because I just haven't had the room. And I found, a bit like the Saint, that some of the stories were doubling up with books that I already had in Pan or Penguin. And you just can't collect everything. It's just impossible. But These Saint ones are an exception. I'll definitely keep these, of course. There we are. So that's that one. The Saint steps in, plays with fire. And these harder ones are, a little bit more primitive, the way that they were put together, because they're older, of course. And the last one from that very generous donation, Saint Bid's Diamonds. That's got a little pound inside as well. Still really nice and supple copy of a very early 50s paperback. Let's see if I can get this out. Yeah, it's coming out all right. There we are. There we go. We're good. We're good. Lovely. So I think we better give the tops of these a bit of a dusting while we're at it. I'm sure they're not going to need much, but they are going to need a little bit. And I see also that one actually could, before we start, I'm actually going to dig the glue out on this, because this one here, as you can see, the spine has just come away a little bit there. So it's going to be a two-stage process. Mr. Pritt here. And I'm just going to pop a bit on the end of my little screwdriver there. I use that to guide it in. Then the first bit I'm going to just pop under there, like so. So squeeze a bit of Pritt in there for the time being. I think I need a bit more. Just to get that. Okay, then this is going to be the first bit of the paper. So we'll just get that into place now. Now the second bit, as you can see, is just up there. So now that first bit's in place, I can put some more glue down. So it's really simple. You just have to glue each layer separately, and that will then sort it out. There we are. But when you think these books are 60, 70 years old now, some of them have survived remarkably well. There we are, look at that. You'd never know, would you? You'd never know unless you watch this video. Well, that's the only bit of repairing I've needed to do all day. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the old toothbrush along the top. So I would expect a bit of dust off these because of their age. And as expected, yeah, you can see some plumes of dust. Plumes and plumes. Now, as you know, as I said before, I sort of use these cleaning videos as like little book-related vlogs about what plans I've got in the future. So in March, we got quite a bit happening in the house. We're getting a new kitchen fitted. It's been on the cards for about 2 years, and March is D-Day. So I'm having to do a lot of these videos in advance, and my output in March, i.e. the number of videos that you might see in March/April, is probably going to be diminished to about a couple of videos a week, unless I get quite lucky and I'm able to get some perhaps shorter videos filmed. So don't panic. Nothing's nothing is wrong. It's just there's a lot of work going on at home, so I have to. I won't have as much opportunity to film, particularly during the day when the workmen are here, than is ordinarily the case. But it is only very much a temporary situation. So just look upon it as a way to catch up on any older videos that you may have missed. Because I have been religiously putting up 3 a week or more for almost 2 years. In fact, in March, it will be 2 years I've been doing YouTube. That's flown quickly, hasn't it? The follow-up Saint video I'm estimating is probably going to be late April, May, when we'll see these in detail and in depth, and I need to do some research first. And I'm going to get a little list of questions for Ian, so Ian, if you're watching, prepare for those. I've relaunched a series of videos on the early Star Trek books, going down very, very well. And thanks to another fellow collector in the States, I've got a few, the last few I was missing are winging their way over to me, so I'm delighted about that. There we are. So we've still got one more stack of books to do. I should just get the camera rearranged for them. There we are. So we're on to the last little batch of books now, and I'm afraid it's some more James Bond. It's not all James Bond, but let's be honest, you can't have really enough Bond, can you? This is a nicer copy of The Man with the Golden Gun. It's actually a first of that one. This is one of the picture jacket For Your Eyes Onlys. Once again, probably from one of the little job lots I bought. Diamonds. When you think how common these were, it's just incredible, isn't it? So yeah, so I was saying I've got quite a bit on in March. So potentially I'm filming as much as I can in February, so that I've got some stuff built up. But if my videos do drop off, don't panic, Captain Mannering, because everything's fine. It's the Coronet editions. Didn't have any of them, don't think. The later ones, yeah, these came in the job lots, so it is what it is. They're okay. Last little stack here is the Still Life covers. They're called, aren't they? They're really nice. So I'm going to be doing the James Bond books in a lot more detail than I have done in the past. Oh, this one's quite nice. This was a little find. The Golden Wonder Book of Party Games. So it was a premium one that you had to mail in for in the 60s, the Golden Wonder Crisps. But in actual fact, the book itself is a Pan book in a different guise. Look, first published 1958 by Pan. And this edition was published originally published as the Pan Book of Party Games. This is a version that was just released as a premium for Golden Wonder, called the Golden Wonder Book of Party Games. Not Hemingway. Absolutely love Hemingway. I really do. I have Hemingway in vintage paperback coming up. All right, it's a video that I've got coming up. I'm still missing just a few editions, and then I've got that coming up. And that particular, I've got some related memorabilia for that particular run of Hemingway books, which Penguin published, and I think they're going to be really good. This is a rarity, and I got this once again from Cold Tonnage Books, and it's the comic strip adaptation of Star Trek The Motion Picture, published by Pocket Books. Now, I've got a huge run of comic book related paperbacks. I absolutely love them, always have done. I didn't know this even existed, and I think it's pretty rare, you know. I paid a bit for it, but it's mint, it's unread. The adaptation's really, really good. Alan Dean Foster did the story. I'm trying to remember who the artwork is by. Is it? Doug Cochran and Klaus Janson did the artwork. That is rare, and I'm really, really pleased to have that one. So that's great news. Lovely copy. One of the odd pocket books that I was missing, number 33. I'm trying to collect them all in American first edition, so I was able to get this one. The British ones are much easier to get, but I just hate them, the Titan book ones. Now, I think I'm going to try and get rid of that label. So it'll either come off really easily, or I might need to put a bit of polish on it. But it looks like it's coming okay. And the reason why is because it's covering up the series number. And these are really shiny jackets. So generally speaking, stickers come off much easier if I'm patient. I can feel it coming. So yeah, I have got the odd few missing oh, look at that, lovely. The odd few missing Star Trek pocketbooks that I was missing for the original series on their way from the States. So a very generous viewer is sending those over to me. And I'm really looking forward to studying and videoing these early pocketbooks because they're fantastic. I've read most of them and they're just brilliant. Spy Love Me. Great book. Once again, I believe this is a first. It had a massive print run, but possibly a little upgrade to my own sort of copy. I have been doing what's tempted me, or prompted me rather, to get a lot of these Bond books is I've pulled all my Pan Bond books together into a little James Bond mini museum of Pan books, and some of them were a little bit worse than I remembered because they were ones I've had literally since I was a teenager. So I'm just going through and I'm trying to pick up better copies. This one's very, very difficult to find in first edition. So this is the second. I have got a first, but it's so bad you just wouldn't believe how bad it is. And I've got the Canadian first. I have got another first edition copy coming from, I think, Australia, but it hasn't arrived yet. I mean, it's not great, but it's still better than the one that I've got. On Her Majesty's, I have got the first of this. This is one of the this is the 5th printing, so the colour of the logo changed on this. That was the main thing. The first 3 printings were export copies, and from printing number 4 upwards, they are British. I've got a couple more copies of You Only Live Twice. Once again, these ended up in job lots. This is the 3rd edition from '66, and this one is very, very poor quality, so probably won't. This might end up in my reading set. This is the 2nd from '66, and I definitely have the first. I've probably got the first 3 versions of this one. There we are. So let's just give the tops of those a little dust off. That one's a bit smaller, so I'll stick that to one side. So not masses of books this time round. You know, like last month I had to do it in 2 parts. There were so many, but I've not bought any job lots. I've been trying to pick up specific editions of these Bond books when I find them, and also trying to upgrade copies that mine are just a little bit too low. I've still got some to come, but nothing too much to worry about. Now, one thing I should warn all my book lovers who watch this channel, I have got a series of gaming videos coming up. Now, don't panic, Captain Mannering. I've always covered retro gaming on the channel, so it's not modern stuff, it's only retro games. So you may even have a passing interest in it, to be honest. But there is a brand new retro handheld that's been released where you can play a lot of the old games. Just on this little handheld, a bit like a Game Boy. So I've got those. I've actually got one of those on the way, and I'm going to do a series of videos on that one because they are very, very popular, and the gaming videos do well on this channel. And as you know, YouTube, although it's my hobby and I love sharing my stuff with you, you know, to keep YouTube promoting my stuff, I do need to get the views, and you need to watch these videos right through. So if you can stay to the end and, you know, spread the word, share it on social media, it really does make a difference. The other thing I really wanted to mention with the channel, I've had a Patreon now for about a year, and although I've only got 8 patrons in total, they are my best and most loyal sort of fans, and they really support the channel month after month. And you can become a patron from as little as $1, and you can just pledge as much as you want, really. I'm always happy to put an end credit on as a producer for you, plugging a channel or a website or an Instagram page or whatever you'd like, basically. But my patrons, really, every single one of them, they're really active. They message me whenever they like, and I don't mind because they're my patrons, and I'm happy to help. But they are predominantly sort of book, sort of sci-fi fans, I guess, of sort of the people who support me on Patreon. And yeah, they're a good old bunch. So if you ever fancy taking a look at that and getting early access to the majority of my videos, do go and check out patreon.com, Jules Burt. Right, there we are. So anyway, that's all the books cleaned. Now I'm just going to take my polish and I'm going to give them some of them, not all of them, but some of them are going to have a little polish just to finish them off, because there's a couple I've noticed they've got nice shiny jackets, but they've got little, fingerprints and bits of grub and what have you on there. So I'm just going to get this soft cloth nice and damp, but not too damp. So I'm tapping it in there. And I'm going to go through these, and some of the more modern ones, they'll be absolutely fine to give this treatment to. Anything early, I'm going to skip. So something like that, not a problem. I am going to give that one the once over, because that one's absolutely fine to go in the collection. I quite like these photo ones actually. Some of these later Bond editions have really grown on me lately, I have to say. So again, that one's absolutely fine to be wiped off. Sometimes it's got a really nice white spine on that one, so really pleased. I'm trying to pick up some of these in sort of, well, not mint, but as good a condition as I can, and upgrade my my own copies, which are great, but they're old and they're worn and red and a bit lower condition than I would perhaps like for my James Bond books, which are definitely part of my main pan collection. It's how I started collecting pans, in fact, was by collecting James Bond books. Simple as that. Now, I haven't mentioned it this time round because I haven't put many up lately, but because of the impending work. But I have got still got about 500 old pan books that need listing on eBay, and I've only got about 30 left up there at the moment, maybe less than that. Everything I've been putting up has been selling so well. There's a link in the description down below if you want to check out my current eBay listings. And I've always got something of interest up, hopefully. So one of the other things I'm going to be doing, I believe, whilst the kitchen work is going on, I'm going to do a couple of live streams from my office. So it's got interesting backdrops. I'll make them book specific, I think. And we'll do a couple of live streams and have a Q&A. I haven't done one in ages, and they're great fun. It's just a matter of setting them up. I've got some new software to do it on my phone now, which should make it easier for me to live stream. And so get your thinking caps on, and I'll do my best to answer any questions on the fly. So these are all coming up rather nicely. So if you've got a collection of old books and you think, I'd love them to be cleaned, maybe Jules could do them for a video, and you're willing to send them to me, if it's something interesting, if it's the sort of stuff that we like on this channel, old paperbacks, and when I say old, I mean pre-1970 on the whole, paperbacks, or movie, TV tie-ins, that sort of thing, something which is of interest that we could, would be interesting to the viewers, I will gladly take those books and I will give them the treatment. I'll give them a cleaning video on your behalf. And if you don't mind paying the postage, I'll happily film the books getting cleaned, because people love these videos, and I find it very therapeutic if I've got an hour or so spare to give the books a bit of a clean. This was really nice, but there was a little bit of I can just see it in the light there, so I'm going to put a little bit more polish on. like a couple of little splotches, almost invisible, but I could see them on the cover. There they are. Yeah, that got in. There's one there as well. Almost like an invisible little mark. Yeah, gone. That's a really nice copy of that one. It's only a second edition, but that's all right. The first is super difficult to get, and something like that. I'll keep all the editions of that particular one, you know, in the little James Bond mini museum, which I have been taking some photos as it's been coming together, and I will do a little video on that as well. That's what I've been doing to spice up the collection, make it a bit of fun to look at and enjoy. So that's them all done now. They're all ready for popping into the collection, which is good news. Updating what I've got and popping them in. So that's all of them done. Now these two hardbacks here, I don't think it's got a little bit of thumbprint, so we'll have a try, just see if it does lift it up. Yeah, it does, yeah. So there's a little bit of brown on there, and just this sort of semi-damp polish has done the trick on this, so it's picking up the fingerprints quite nicely. There we are, because it's such a white jacket, it's really easy to, it gets really fingerprinty and marked up. Spine's actually pretty good. And the front cover is not too bad either. Must have been a big deal for Pan. I guess, you know, because it was being printed in as an original. So they gave it the treatment, hardback and paperback. There we are. It's nice, isn't it? Now, I can't really do much about the boards on this copy of the Crack and Wakes. It's like got a little it's like a little paint splot, but I mean that's going to be covered over anyway, isn't it, when I get the facsimile jacket on it. And with regards to the page edges here, I mean they are in a bit of a sorry old state, aren't they? So what I'm going to have a think about doing potentially, and I'm going to experiment first of all, but you can get very, very fine sandpaper, and I could just rub it along there and take off just the top edge, and it'll make it much, much brighter and whiter than it is now. You know, get rid of that splodge of red there, whatever that was, blackcurrant or something. So I might give that a go. I'm going to try it on a really old book that doesn't matter, with not a first of the Crack and Wakes. So yeah, if I do experiment with that, I'll let you know. Now these are the first of the Saint books. Now these were just stonking copies, so I don't think I'm going to need to do very much on these at all. But as we've discovered in the past, sometimes these have got hidden fingerprints and stuff, but I'll just zip through them. I don't think there's much to do. They look they're such great copies, nothing to really worry about. Just seeing if there's any major sort of fingerprints or anything. So the channel recently passed 7,500 subscribers, which is pretty good, I have to say. In, you know, not quite two years yet, and 1.25 million views. How mental is that? So my views are going through the roof. It's 140,000 views a month I'm up to now. That's nuts, isn't it? Sadly, not enough to give up my day job. As much as I'd love to do this full time, and I'd be knocking out 5 videos a week for you almost. Particularly if we weren't in lockdown. There's so much that's going to happen once lockdown is up. I've got my local collecting friends who've got so many brilliant collections, and they've said I can come round and plunder them and film some brand new videos for you. So I do look forward to that once things start to get back to normal. And we've got some real amazing stuff to share. I mean, stuff you're just going to be knockout. You're going to love it. So I'm really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I do hope that, while we've been in lockdown, you've found these videos helpful, educational sometimes, relaxing, I hope. Certainly there's no stress in my videos. We're just here having a bit of fun and enjoying our love of sort of classic fiction, in a lot of cases, in old books and paperbacks. And it is a pretty stressful time at the moment, so lots of people say they just like to come home and chill out and watch one of my new videos, and that is great to hear. This one's cleaning up quite nicely. That one did have quite a bit of fingerprint damage on the back. So yeah, I guess I'm picking up 500-600 subscribers a month at the moment, which is a lot. I mean, it's more than ever before. So I think people are liking what I'm putting out, for sure. And it'll only be, I suppose, well, maybe by the summer I'll be on 10,000 subscribers, which is a really nice little milestone. I'll be able to start knocking out a bit of my own merchandise, and I've got some great ideas for that, I can tell you. I might even go ahead and do some anyway. I've got some ideas for some sort of classic book-related memorabilia. Once again, some of it's going to involve post-lockdown, when we're able to go out and about again, and I can start getting some stuff done. But I'm going to replicate some of the classic pan point of sale, the standees, and I'm going to do the book crowns as well. There's definitely demand for them. I don't tend to make much money, but they're going to be expensive to produce, unfortunately. But the demand is there, and I'd much rather pack my originals away safely and have multiple facsimiles that I can put loads of them out, which will be brilliant, So watch this space for that. I've got a friend who's a book designer. He's going to sort it out for me, which will be cool. But they are going to be fairly expensive because they do cost a bit to put together. Probably going to be about 20 quid each or something, but we'll see. Cheaper than an original. So that's coming out, and I'm going to do some classic vintage paperback coffee mugs. The only thing is, I thought, and maybe someone could do, I haven't done any of these yet, but I could easily do, for example, the James Bond pan firsts on a coffee mug. How cool would that be, Just enough to fill in all the sides of a mug. I think that would be brilliant. But where do we stand on copyright? That's the big question. If I'm selling these, even if it's like not for profit, the last thing I want to do is get myself in trouble with the copyright. So comments below. What do you think? Shall I risk it? No. Or, well, let me know. I mean, these are old. These are covers which are 50, 60 years old. I mean, I suppose someone must own the copyright. If it isn't Pan themselves, I mean, it's not the artist. The artwork has been long gone. I don't know. So let me know. What do you think? Would you like to buy such a thing? I mean, it'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? A coffee mug with the all the original Ian Fleming first pan jackets on. I think that would be really nice myself, but is it legal? I don't know. However, if I do get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm allowed to have my own merchandise. So I will be doing some stuff related to the channel, and obviously it will help support the channel. The other thing I am now seriously thinking about is perhaps knocking up a publication or two and getting it published through Amazon or somewhere similar. and I'll do some sort of specialist looks at particular aspects of paperback collecting. And see how we get on with that. That might be a bit of fun. It's not too difficult to get stuff published these days, and if there's something you particularly like to see covered in a more permanent form, give me a shout and I'll see if I can get something come up. Right, the last little stack here. So we got that laminated copy of Thunderball movie adaptation, which is, as I said, quite nice to see this one in nice nick, even though it's been laminated. Bit of a shame, but because it wasn't in the description that it was, but it is what it is. Very nice, this one. Now, I have had another idea for a video as well, which I think would be pretty good as a regular feature, but I would need your help, and that is eBay watch. So I come across rare paperbacks all the time because I study eBay, and there's all sorts of stuff that I'm looking for, but I can't cover it all. It's just too big a subject. But there have been some amazing lots. Sometimes they don't sell, but there have been some rare paperbacks that have sold for big money, and I just would like, it would be interesting just to keep a tab of what stuff is going for, and interesting books, or if something made a particularly big price, a high price, it might be interesting to cover those things in video. And I'll do like maybe once every couple of months, do like an eBay watch. So if you fancy the idea of that, if you quite fancy the idea, let me know. I think that might be quite good fun. The other thing I've got coming up, investing in vintage paperbacks. So some of these old books are becoming quite expensive. I wouldn't say the prices of these old books are going through the roof, but certain old books I think are probably good investments. So that might be something to consider. So I'm probably going to do a video in that vein quite soon, so look out for that. And if you've got ideas that you'd like to see me cover book related in a video, drop a comment down below and I'll see what I can come up with, see if it's something that I like the sound of. The last few now, and then we're done. So a bit of a shorter video today, but still long enough, and you're now fully up to speed with what's happening on the channel. So it's all good. Everything is going in the right direction. Support is great. And that's what it's all about. So yeah, definitely don't panic if you see a load of gaming videos coming up. It'll only be about one a week anyway, but I haven't forgotten my book roots. But it's just a new handheld is out and I want to cover it. And those videos always prove very, very successful, so I don't want to ignore it, But there we are, so just one last book to do, which is that nice copy of From Russia with Love. And that was my January pickups and donations. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed my latest cleaning and book pickups video. I must give very special thanks once again to Ian for the Leslie Charteris Saint books. Really, really gratefully received, and we'll be looking at these in more detail in a couple of months or so once we've got the whole run together, and we'll look at Leslie Charteris in Hodder, which I think will be fantastic. If you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it a thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing for regular vintage paperback content, and I shall look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.